Welcome to the Real Academy, brought to you each Saturday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time by the
Systems Doctors,
Dr. Sheikah Houston and Dr. Tammy Taylor, best-selling authors, consultants, and speakers of Create and Educate LLC. Create and Educate LLC is an educational consultant and literary firm that provides professional development to schools and community. Their goal is to transform organizations with the REALL resilient framework used to increase their school report card grades 2 and 3 grade levels in 1 year. REALL stands for Respect, Excellence, Accountability, Literacy, and Leadership. This framework is used to coach leaders and teachers and build student efficacy while putting systems in place that aligns the work of the school improvement, making the process manageable. When the work is manageable, teachers and leaders don't stress out or burn out.
the Systems Doctors.
Alignment systems are designed to help schools evolve and grow, all while instituting protocols and processes designed to promote collaboration and collegiality. The implementation of the alignment framework prevents some of the most common problems in education, where leaders sometimes aren't sure where to start, or in our new age of educating, leaders need a trusted sounding board that allows them to be vulnerable and transparent, preventing loneliness at the top. The framework doesn't just help leaders, but also prevents teachers from burning out from too many initiatives and embracing teachers as they are the experts. Finally, the framework extends to the children, helping them get engaged in school and solving a nationwide problem. Alignment systems are frequently referred to as a key element of success in the improvement process. In the sport of rowing, all rowers must put their oars in the water succinctly, creating a system for their boat to reach maximum speed. So schools that want to improve are bringing in
The Systems Doctors
to teach them all about the alignment systems that must be in place for school improvement to be accomplished at high levels. The dynamic duo provides insights into educational topics through their international platform, which includes educators, parents, and community members as a way to support important entities that make communities thrive. This is their way to pay it forward and provide the support they needed through their platform. Take a look. People who work with the
Systems Doctors
describe them as an excellent and inspiring group of leaders. They get into the weeds of work with leaders through their TrustMate Institute that you should contact them about today by filling out the contact form on their website.
Happy Saturday, everyone. It is Super Saturday. Welcome to episode 186 of the Real Academy, brought to you by Create and Educate with your very own Systems Doctors, HERS. Good morning, Tammy.
Good morning, Sheikah, and good morning, everybody. Thank y'all for joining us.
Yes, and not only is it Women's History Month, and as you can see with our logo behind us, we've been building our sisters this month. It is also International Women's Day. So we are celebrating women, especially today, but also throughout the entire month.
Yes, we are super excited to have Women's History Month this month and be able to highlight and celebrate all of these incredible women. And we're super excited that we were able to start off last week with Dr. Akua, who did an outstanding job with us, making sure that we can learn and appreciate the value in strengthening our HBCUs Build My Sister is something that we are very passionate about, and we're super excited about the work we're doing in that area, because Build My Sister was actually birthed for us from my dissertation work. And it's all about bringing awareness to circumstances Black women face in society, from being heads of households, income disparity, support disparity, but the great impact that can be seen from passionate, effective leadership.
Most definitely. And today, since this episode is all about AI, we are saluting Angel Bush, who confronted with the lack of diversity in artificial intelligence. She has actually taken action by founding her own movement and website. So she founded Black Women in Artificial Intelligence. Her mission is to educate, engage, and embrace. So this is something that empowers Black women in AI, and I'm going to drop a link in the comments so that you all can check this out, because not only do we need to be more aware of it, but we need to make sure that our students are aware as well. So if you all would not mind, do everything that the platforms do. Please like, share, subscribe, send stars, do all of the things, because you know we need help with these algorithms.
Yes, and each episode every Saturday is a part of our live stream network, the Fantastic Four, beginning at 10 a.m. each Saturday morning with Principal Sean Hurt. And if you were on this morning, you know Principal Hurt was doing his thing just like he always does. And then yours truly, Create and Educate, follows in the REALL Academy at 10:30. And then 10:55, the leader's mentor and the GOAT of all things education, the AP and New Principals Academy with Principal Kafele. And then on Sunday evenings, the PGP podcast with Dr. Moreno and Principal Josh Tovar.
Most definitely. And if you are one of our regular FAM members, you know that it is time for Real FAM shout outs. And as you can see, our platform engineer, Pedrick, is not feeling well. So you all pray that he gets better, because you know normally these comments would be up by now. But I'm going to put them up when Tammy starts to read the bio of our guest. But thank you all for joining. I'm going to do the roll call. AP Patrick Lawrence from Connecticut, we appreciate you. Thank you for joining us. Chancellor Rashard Davis out in Las Vegas, thank you for joining us. Miss Tashika Truesdale out in Atlanta, Georgia, we appreciate you, sis. Thank you for joining us. Stacie L. Joy out in Los Angeles on the West Coast, we appreciate you. Thank you. Miss Dot McKeever Jeter, the one and only, from Illinois, thank you for joining us, and good morning.
Humbly thanks.
Yes. Kenna Rowland from New Jersey, thank you for joining us. Miss September Devance Vance Daniels, we appreciate you. Dr. Rella Hicks out of Augusta, Georgia, thank you for joining us. Our one and only Principal Sean Hurt, who is also a GOAT, the data guru out in Detroit, Michigan. Mr. David Bell in Benton Harbor, Michigan, thank you for joining us. Grand Rising. Principal Josh Tovar, another one of our Fantastic Four brothers, thank you for joining us. Trina Fletcher, Melissa Jones Chunu, and let me see if I missed anybody. Oh, the other GOAT is here, Principal Kafele. We appreciate you as always, and looking forward to your show that is coming up in just a moment as well. And we got Monique Kirk right here in our area, Jennifer Desmond, Jeff Milner in Chester, Virginia, Deanna Klingman, thank you for joining us. And I think that's everybody. We appreciate everybody being on with us, because you could be doing anything, but you chose and are intentional about being here with us on every Saturday. So we appreciate you all.
Definitely. We do not take that lightly, but we asked this morning that you remember, as a real fam, that we need you to make sure that the girls are talking good, like the big brother Hurt says. And if you hear something good, we are asking in this episode something that resonates with you or something that you are connected with. Please drop an AI in the comments.
Most definitely. So it is that time. We are going to bring up our guest. Let me see. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hi, Grand Rising, everyone. It's a pleasure
Grand
to be here.
Rising.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank
Grand
you.
Rising.
Yes.
Yes, we are so super happy to have with us this morning Dr. Stacie Chana. And we are elated. I'm going to give her props as we share her bio so that you all know who we have with us this morning and what a special episode this is going to be. With a career spanning over 20 years in urban education leadership, Dr. Stacie Chana serves at the forefront of TechEd Maven Consulting, where educational excellence meets cutting edge technology. In the era of the fourth and soon to be fifth industrial revolutions, she passionately promotes artificial intelligence as a catalyst to advance educational equality and system enhancement. Her focus on AI is not just technological, but deeply rooted in fostering safe, ethical, and equitable use within all communities. Dr. Chana's commitment to diversity and inclusivity, particularly within STEM education, is central to her mission. She serves in support of the intricate dynamics of today's tech-centric educational environment, guiding and enriching the landscape with her expertise and visionary leadership. And we are so humbled to have you with us this morning.
Thank you.
Chana,
I'm honored to be here and to speak with
Thank
you all. It's a pleasure so far. We had a great conversation leading up to this. So it's
We
exciting.
did. And we're very excited about talking with you this morning. And we'll jump right in so that we give our listeners time to learn from the expert in the room this morning. So we're going to start.
And Tammy, let me start with I like to set it up.
I'm sorry.
So that's okay. This is that site that I dropped in the comments, or I'm going to drop in the comments, that helps us to promote Black women in AI by Angel Bush. But I wanted to show this data because in 2024, 80% of students reported that they believe content that connects to real world experiences is important for long-term success and their day-to-day learning. But only 16% of Americans say that public K-12 education is headed in the right direction, with 32% saying that they weren't sure, and 51% saying it's headed in the wrong direction. And one of the things that you hear a lot with AI in education, some people, they have their own philosophies about it. And I think philosophies are great. However, when we're talking about the future of our children, I think philosophy has to be put on the back burner. Whether or not AI is within your philosophy or not, if children are not given awareness, training, and what they need to be prepared for this revolution that's happening with AI, those of us in education are doing them a disservice. So that's why we knew that we needed Dr. Stacie Chana to come on to tell us her expertise about this. So Tammy's going to jump right in with the question.
And just to echo and put a period at the end of what Sheikah is saying, when you're thinking about philosophical viewpoints, though, those have to be based on something. And usually when you're developing a philosophy on something, you need to do some research. And anybody doing research right now can benefit from the conversation this morning. So Dr. Chana, we're going to start with you in this, just getting us started with why is AI exposure and training needed for students to be college and career ready today?
Yeah, so thank you again. And it is so essential. If you're watching the news and you're hearing there are already major job cuts coming in a lot of industries. Automation is on the rise, and I can drop research as we go along. There's a report, the 2035 Skills Imperative. That report was released a few years ago. And it talked about how the changes in automation, artificial intelligence would impact the job market. Common jobs today that we see won't exist in 3 to 5 years, right? And the advancements in artificial intelligence since that report was released have accelerated that even more. Last year, McKinsey and Company, who's one of the largest consulting agencies in the world, released a report that said 60% of employers would not hire someone who does not have generative AI literacy skills. So
Wow.
it is imperative, especially when we're looking at our current high schoolers,
Hmm.
that we begin and throughout what we do, have the conversation with them in terms of how they can utilize generative AI, what it is, the safety concerns, the privacy concerns, the ethical and the bias concerns that present. And if we're not doing that, we're not establishing an ethical and equitable educational experience for our students.
Not at
Thank
all.
you, Dr. Chana. That's that 60% will not hire. That's a big
And that was a
statistic
year
that,
ago.
wow, that we
Mhm.
need to be aware of. So when we're talking about the training and the literacy in AI, could you talk a little bit about what that could look like in a school? We have multiple levels on, so whether elementary, middle, high, whichever one you would like to focus, or just a little bit for all three.
Right. So when I lead trainings, any training on AI, there are four careful considerations that I always start with.
Hmm.
And so the first things we have to look at are safety. Is the artificial intelligence, are we using it in a safe manner? Is it emotionally safe? Is it something that could cause damage to our students? If we're looking and reading the news and being very careful, we can see that the social emotional impacts of not only social media, but now these algorithms, TikTok, and these AI platforms where students are forming relationships. Those things can be very dangerous. So we want to
Hmm.
make sure that wherever we're going is safe.
Hmm.
The second thing, as leaders, that we want to consider is privacy. You know, we have to be very careful, and what we put into AI and what we talk about that people can put in AI. Originally, people were using ChatGPT to create IEPs and things of that nature, which is fine, but you never want to include any identifying information
Hmm.
into any AI chatbot unless your district technology policy has it authorized for that use. And it would be very clear if it's for that.
Hmm.
The third thing is ethics, right? What are our belief systems? When should AI be used? When should it not be used? You know, and so there's a larger conversation around that needs to occur that's specific to children's ages and
Hmm.
where they're at developmentally. And the fourth thing, which impacts us greatly, is bias.
Hmm.
AI is trained on the internet. And as we know, the internet is biased. And so I challenge everyone, if you're not already using AI, to go in and try to create images and ask it to create images of happy children versus sad children and see what the outcome of those searches and the creations might be. And so that's where I would start. After those bases are covered and those conversations are had, there's a whole series of experimentation. And I'm in publication and production with Solution Tree, and I have a book coming out in November that really goes in and teaches the really what I call experimentation skills, and it has
Hmm.
discussions embedded. And so you have to do both the conceptual understanding of AI as well as the practical application. And we need to do it simultaneously at the same time due to the urgency of the learning that we need to take care of.
Rich. That is very, very impactful. And we are very excited about where AI is in the space of education right now. We are, and we talked a little bit about this when we first came on with you, but talk to us about the ways, even though some people shy away from it, what are ways that AI can make the lives of educators better so that they are more willing to embrace?
Right. So when I started this journey almost 2 years ago, I really just started experimenting with ChatGPT. And you can have whatever platform that you choose. If you like Gemini, a lot of educators like Anthropic, there's Perplexity, there are Magic Schools. There are various tools.
Copilot. I know a lot of people have started to tamper with that.
Absolutely.
People who are
Copilot as well.
yeah.
And so whichever tool is accessible to you and available, go in and experiment and really try to push it to your edge of competence, right? I began asking it to create attendance plans and create 90-day entry plans for a principal. Just things that would spend a lot of time that you would normally do that would require your expertise, and really go in and merge your expertise with AI and try to break this system. That's how I can advise you. For teachers and it specifically, go in and try to differentiate your lesson plans. I created materials. The first book that I self-published, and I encourage people to self-publish, is ASHER Teacher Evaluations, and really went through and have exemplar prompts and examples of the power of these platforms, right? If you've never used them before, you don't know. And so going in an area of expertise for you and try to push the system. The other thing I try to say is use it even whenever you think you don't need to use it, right? I'm a gardener, so I'm using it right now to help me plan my garden for Zone 6B in Chicago. So all types of unconventional uses, because the more you use it, the more well-versed you become in using it. And so it's almost like something you have to continuously practice and refine to improve your prompting skills. For administrators, I already kind of laid out some of the ways that I started using it in the beginning, but I do trainings on instructional leadership. And so any type of instructional leadership activity that you might need to do, providing feedback for teachers, anything, coaching plans, behavioral plans, all of that, as long as you're not providing identifying information or anything that would be considered confidential or identifying information, I'm stressing that, you should be good to go. And so a lot of people use it for rewriting text and crafting text. That's absolutely amazing. That's a great place to start. But really push yourself into that higher level strategic thinking and problem solving that AI can help you with.
Thank you so much for saying that, because I was so like behind the curveball with it, because I had a colleague who kept saying, just use, I'm a writer, so I enjoy writing like on my own. And I was forever like confused about how to even get to Chat GPT. So I just forget it. I don't even want to be bothered with that. And she kept saying it's going to make things so much easier for you. And honestly, I don't even think I started with Chat. I might have started with Neo. I'm not sure. But what I learned in that experience is it is so much easier once you start, as you said, to get in there and explore. Then the possibilities of how it can be used open up to creations of things that can be used with your children. So I think that you are spot on with just getting down to it and seeing what's available. I think that's a great thing.
Thank you. You have to get your hands dirty. And one of the other ways that I would suggest is give the AI some context about who you are and what your role is, and ask it how it can help you.
Most definitely. I love this. Everything that you've provided has just been helpful, and I put two resources in the comments. So if you all would like more information about what Dr. Chana has to offer in these areas, that is in the comments. You can just click on those links. But the last thing we wanted you to share is what type of training would educators need in order to implement this? And I know that you have some things that can help as well that we're going to put up.
Yeah. So the first thing I emphasize, even before, if you're personally using AI, that's fine. But before you're pushing things out to teachers or students, you really need to become familiar with what I call the 4 careful considerations: safety, privacy, ethics, and bias. We need to be informed before we're exposing our children and our staff to things that they may not be fully versed in, right? And so there are definitely some things we have to consider. Any training that is not forefronted in discussing those things, that's fine, right? But you need to have those trainings and you need to be well versed in that, because it can be dangerous, right? Self-exploration and training in prompt engineering. You may hear the term prompt engineering, which is the ability to create questions and queries to talk to the generative AI and to be able to get the response that you need. That is a great place to start. In the comments, the document that she placed, AI skills, it has 4 frameworks in there. It has a framework to help you generate prompts, the prompt recipe. It also has a framework that helps you, after you've created an output from AI, to strategically go in and check that output. And then the third is a bias identification framework. I cannot stress enough how biased the outputs are from AI in terms of what the internet it is feeding off of. And then the fourth is there's a whole section on deep fakes. And if you're not familiar with deep fakes are content that is artificially created from generative AI that is simulating people or voices doing things that could be illegal, inappropriate, and it's really beginning to impact schools if you look at and Google and search. And so those are 4 areas that you really want to have yourself trained on while you're experimenting and building your capacity in usage.
Thank you so much. And tell us just a little bit about this conference as
Yay.
well.
Right. So just yesterday, and this is an early announcement, I was announced well, actually, this is from last year. I was an AI classroom innovator last year at the ASU GSV Summit, and or an air show sponsored by the summit. And so I presented last year, and I do this keynote often: AI in action, equity, experimentation, and educational leadership. But this year, and it's being announced this afternoon, I am one of the leading women in AI. And so that is extremely exciting.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
And it's just an honor to, be a part of such a great group of women who are contributing to the space and ensuring that as we move forward into our increasingly technological society, that everything is being done and conducted in a way that is appropriate and best fit for our society. Things are about to change very dramatically over the next 2 years. Pay attention to the news. Make sure you are well-versed. Educate yourself. Empower your students. Empower your teachers. And just really stay locked in on this.
Most definitely. Thank you for all of the resources that you've provided, all of the information. I think everyone in the comments, you can tell, has enjoyed this. If there's anything that you've enjoyed, if you've enjoyed this, put that AI in the comments.
Absolutely.
But thank you so much.
We can say to you, Dr. Chana, that thanks to you, our real fam can say that they heard it right here.
Right.
Absolutely. I look forward to coming back.
Exactly. And while we end out, make sure you hang on with us. Thank you all for joining us. We definitely have some things in the work that will help make those lesson plans with one of our partnering companies. Interest-based lessons for students, and that will definitely be using AI. We know that this is the wave of the future, and we want to use it to make children more
Engage them in what they're doing.
exactly more engaged, but also relevant. A big piece of what's missing in education is children can't see the relevance to how it's going to connect to what they want to do or what they would like to become. So that interest-based learning is all about that, and that's what we're all about as edu creators. So thank you all for joining us. We're going to end out. Please join us on Principal Kafele's platform next, and we will see you back here next Saturday, same time, same place. And don't forget to join Josh and Dr. Moreno on Sunday. So thank you all, and have a great
See
rest
y'all
of
later.
your Saturday. Thank you.
Bye-bye.